crown.
Oh, my.
It's over his head. And he's standing in front of it, and he says, he says, before I speak, I want to purge myself. And everybody's listening, and he says, I am no longer to be called a god. He said, there is only one true Lord, the Lord Almighty, and he says, and he's referring to Jesus.
Praise.
And now, what the church is, and I don't know if the church is grasping it as like they should. Some are, but some aren't. That we are in these days of Jerusalem. We're in the days of the return of the Jewish people.
Yes.
And
so it's absolutely amazing, and there's no place like it. It's listen, we're the only faith in the world that has a place like Israel, because it's real. Our faith is based on reality. It's based on God intervening in human history, and prophecy. Yeah. And so it's there, and it's not going anywhere. Despite what the world wants, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
What will be our next section?
Okay, all right. Well, now I'm going to open up the mystery of the principality. Now this is going to have a lot of different things in here, from personal to from what the Bible says, things that people not be thinking exactly as such. It's there, to what's happening, explaining what's happening around us. So I'm going to read from Ephesians 5. Okay. Ephesians 5. It says this: finally, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the full armor of God, so you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, against the rulers, against the authorities, against the principalities, powers of this dark world, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. Okay. Paul is saying that we are in a war, and it's against rulers, authorities, powers, principalities. And it's hard for us to picture this, what they are. But in ancient times, we were living in ancient times, the ancient Bible times, you would be able to picture this very well. Deuteronomy 32, verse 16. It says, they stirred him, God, to jealousy with strange foreign gods. With abominations they provoked him to anger. They sacrificed to demons. Now what this is saying here, it says that when they worshiped the gods of the nations, they worshiped the false gods. They weren't just gods, they were sacrificing to demons. That's what it says here.
Wow.
Listen to Psalm 106, verse 34. They did not destroy the people as the Lord commanded. They mixed with the nations. They learned to do as they did. They served their idols, which became a snare. They sacrificed their sons and their daughters to demons. They poured out innocent blood. Now they were sacrificing their sons and daughters to the gods of the Canaanites. But here it's saying it wasn't gods, they were demons, they were principalities here. Baal, Moloch, they were demonic principalities. Now the word of Paul in 1 Corinthians 10, he says, what do I imply? That food offered to idols is anything? No, I imply that what the pagans sacrificed, they offered to demons. Same thing, very consistent. So what is it saying here? What it's saying here is that when you looked at the gods of the world, they weren't really gods, they were just masks. It wasn't just that it was demonic, it's saying behind the god were principalities, were demonic forces. There, for instance, we've talked at some point, we talked about the altar of Pergamum.
Yeah.
And there's more on that. But here, what's the altar of Pergamum? It says in Revelation, it says that Pergamon is the throne of Satan, remember. Now what was on Pergamon? Pergamon was the place known in the ancient world for the gigantic altar to Zeus. Zeus. Now Zeus is a god. Zeus was the king of the gods, right? But here it's saying, no, it's saying it's the throne of Satan. What's it saying? It's saying Zeus, behind Zeus, is really Satan. Zeus, the king of the gods. It says Satan is the god of this world. God of this world. So this is going to open up a whole new realm here about what's happening here in America and the world. But I want to share with you. I think the people listening will be blessed. I want to share what I experienced with the gods in the nations. And let me share first what happened with India. I was asked to go to India. And India is so filled with gods. I mean, it's filled. I mean, you got millions of gods there. And the moment I said yes, when they said, "Will you go to India?" They wanted me to walk in the footsteps of the Apostle Thomas, because by their tradition, Thomas, Jewish believer, brought them the gospel. So they said, so when I said yes, as soon as I said yes, all hell breaks loose. I mean, all hell breaks. I mean, I'm not even going into detail, but confusion, craziness in the congregation, everything went crazy. We had our tickets for the mission. All our tickets disappear. The realtor vanishes. Nothing. I went to the airport with no tickets. And when I later on got onto the plane heading to India, I'm looking out the window and I see pieces of the engine are flying out. And so the engine goes back. I mean, they land back again, and we go back. We are heading on the first day in India, or the first days in India. We head to the Taj Mahal. Okay.
This isn't news, man. Why don't you listen before you guess what it is?
On India. It's dark fog, and the taxi driver is racing. He's going like 50 miles an hour in the fog. You can only see like just a little bit ahead of you. And as we're going, we see cars turned over. We see trucks. We see carts turned over on the side. Everything is turned over. And then finally, we actually literally, it's only like our second day, we crash into a truck. The truck is dragging us there. This is like our, it's gonna, but here's what happened. I mean, I never saw the power of God and the power of the enemy so strong. I mean,
it's not news, bud. You can mute me.
Later on, I'm reading about that area where we were driving. And it says it's the area linked to the Hindu god Krishna. And when he says what Krishna is the trickster god. What he is specialized in was turning over vehicles.
Oh my goodness.
Turning over carts and vehicles. And say it's not the work of a god, it's the work of a demon. In the Bible, there are showdowns between the God and the gods. Remember, the famous one was when the Philistines capture the ark. They put it in their temple of the god Dagon. They say God Dagon, but the Bible's saying these are principalities. God Dagon. They put it there. So these are the Philistine gods, and they open up in the morning when they find the god, that they find their idol is bowed down, and the other time they find the idol is basically destroyed. Okay, it's a showdown. People say, "Oh, it's the Bible." That's it. Yeah. Another story from the Bible. Well, here now let me share the full.
Dude's name is Jonathan Kahn. He's a prophecy dude. He does a bunch of predictions and Bible prophecy and all types of stuff. Dude's mad smart.
Story of something that
he's all over online if you search his name.
When I was asked to go
it's
to Cuba, Fidel Castro
CAHN,
says he's going to open up
especially on YouTube.
Okay. Cuba has been under a curse, communism, but not just communism. People don't realize Cuba is a land of gods.
Oh my!
There's the gods of Santeria.
I had to flip my breaker, dude.
This is where you get all. I mean,
sometimes when my girl uses the vacuum in certain places, it shuts all my crap off. I got to go downstairs and flip the breaker, so I had to do that, and it kicked me off the stream. And then I had stuff to do, so I didn't even jump back on.
They said, and he said you have to spread this faith in this island. So it spread. When Fidel Castro
I'm getting less and less more time to play. I can't play, man. It's ridiculous. Every time I try to play, it's something else I gotta do.
It was the religion of Santeria. It was the religion of the gods. So under communism, the growth, it exploded in the island. The worship of all these gods, sacrifices there. Castro's closest companion, a woman named Celia Sanchez, was an open practitioner of this, and she was advising him all the time. When Castro rode into Havana, some can remember, he came in there. There were all these Santeria priests who were preparing the way for him. Many of his soldiers had the ornaments of the Santeria gods on them. The day that the revolution, when he took over, was one of the holiest days on the Santeria calendar. We're talking about history being affected here. When Castro was born, he was consecrated to one of those deities. One of those things symbolized by the dove. When Castro made his first speech in Havana, it was a famous thing, a dove landed on him. And people took it, oh, that's a great sign. But it was the sign of the god that he was dedicated to. The chief god of the island of Cuba is Ochun. Now what happened is when the Catholic Church, they started combining these with the saints. That's why it's called Santeria. So they said, okay, Mary, the big one, is Ochun, the African god Ochun. So Ochun is the chief god of the island, but the island has been under a curse of communism. Now you think the communists would be so, we're scientific, we're atheists, but it all goes together. There's this curse on the island. So I was asked to go to Cuba, not knowing any of this stuff. I go to Cuba, and for one month they said fellow Catholics going to open it up for freedom for the gospel. I'm in the city called Orientes. A man comes off the street. He says, I got to talk to the Jewish guy. He didn't know who I was either. And so he talked to me with a translator. He says, listen, the believers of Cuba have been praying. We were on the mountains, and God revealed to us that there's a curse over this island. He said, and a Jewish man or Jewish people have to come here, part of the breaking of the curse. That's what he says. Now, I don't know what I don't know what this is all about. But he says, look at that mountain. It's a mountain. And on the mountain, he says, that's where they worship all these gods on the mountain. There's witchcraft and voodoo, and they offer up sacrifices, and there's a curse, and God says that curse is going to be turned into a blessing and come down the mountain. I said, okay, Lord, I guess you want me to be going up this cursed mountain. I guess this by doing so the next day I go up with some others with a shofar. I bring my shofar. Always gotta have your weapon.
Yeah.
So I go up there, the Bible. No. I go up there. I get to the top, and there's the pavilion. And there's a man standing in front of the pavilion. He sees me from a distance, and he says, Hola, Jonathan. The guy comes over to me, and with a translator, he says, I've been waiting for you. I said, really? He said, yes. He said, he wasn't one of the word. He was a believer. He said, God told me to come up the mountain and wait for you. You're going to come. So he's up the mountain, and he shows us a ceramic plate. The ceramic plate is I look at it, it's a painting on it. It's a painting of me with a shofar that I just brought up. And I'm sounding the shofar. And he says, no, he says, I have to tell you what happened. He says, what I did is God told me to paint this painting. He says, and put it in the pavilion with the gods. So he puts it in the pavilion with the gods. He says, that night, the leather, it just breaks apart. And the plate comes down. And on its way down, it strikes the head of the island.
Oh.
The next day, those worshippers open up their pavilion, their temple. They find their chief god, Ochun, is on the floor. And her crown is removed. And next to it is this plate with this Jewish guy.
Oh, yeah. I love the supernatural. I love it.
And it struck, you could see where it struck because it was chipped. And I have the plate to this day. One day maybe I can bring it. But I have the plate, and it chipped just where the sound comes out of the shofar. So that's where it struck her head. So they said they took it as a sign from the heavens. So what happened is after that, the people in that city started coming to the churches bringing their idols of Santeria. And they told the pastor, they said, they'd smash our idols. We heard what happened on the mountaintop. And there was revival.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Revival.
That's
God's
amazing.
grace. There's revival. Now, but that sound. Now, but that was not the end. Now, I never shared. That was not the end, because here's what happened. This is a whole thing. Soon after that, I was called to go to Brazil. My wife's born in Brazil, but I was called to go there just for another reason. I said, minister. So I go to Brazil, and I go to Brazil just when a new government took over a city, and very leftist. And just before I go, just a week before we got there, this mayor erected these gods, these gigantic, colossal gods, and put them on the central lake of the city. And so in the lake, if you picture it, these are these gigantic idols floating or suspended on there. And they were the gods of Santeria. And one of them is Ochun. And I said, wow, I know this one. We have a little relationship, a bad relationship. And so I'm there. I'm saying, this is kind of weird. What's going on with this? The gods. And somebody from Brazil starts praying over me. They don't know the plan. They pray and they just start prophesying and say, you're going to be ministering to dark-skinned people, and you're going to do this. He didn't know. A few weeks later, I'm sent to Africa. I'm in Africa. Now, because now somebody had invited me there. But I go there, and when I get to Africa, I'm going to minister to all these African people in Nigeria. And I look, and they had painted the stage. They did this big painting, and it's a painting of me with a shofar, the same painting on the plate, on the ceramic plate. And so I said, okay, they got it from a photograph that he got it from. So I'm there. I said, let me tell them this. I said, maybe God, you want me to tell them the story because it's Africa. There's a lot of. So so I tell the story. I said this. I said this. I said, and then Ochun. And I say, when I say the name, they're like gasping and they're reacting. And I go at the end. I said, what was that about? They said they all know Ochun. I said, really? I said, how do they know it? They said all those gods came from here. They came from West Africa. Specifically, they came from Nigeria. Specifically, they came from here. I said, I didn't know that. I just went. I mean, I just answered a call to. I had no idea, but God was sending me here. So I went there. It turns out the state that I was in when I shared that is the name of the state is Ochun. It turns out that in that place there's a man who is the Pope of all the Santeria faith. He as the Pope is to Catholicism, he is the head of all these gods. He's called the keeper of the gods. Oh. He's the head of all these millions of people who worship all around the world, and he is considered a god himself. He's called the Oni of Ife. That's his title. Oh, that's the title. Oni of Ife. It turns out I didn't know. I'm ministering in Nigeria, and we're ministering repentance. We're praying for the curses to break. We're ministering repentance. So we have leaders there. We have senators from Nigeria, senators there. And all of a sudden, as we're having this service, there's commotion going on. Commotion. And all of a sudden, what happened? The Oni of Ife is coming into the place. Oh. He comes in, and he's got an entourage. Literally, senators are bowing down to him. That's a bowing down to him. And what happens is that all of a sudden, and he goes up to the stage. He goes up to the stage, got a robe, got a thing representing a crown, and he's standing under the picture. He's the keeper of the god Ochun. He's standing under the picture right where the shofar hit her head and removed her crown.
Oh, my.
It's over his head. And he's standing in front of it, and he says, he says, before I speak, I want to purge myself. And everybody's listening, and he says, I am no longer to be called a god. He said, there is only one true Lord, the Lord Almighty, and he says, and he's referring to Jesus.
Praise God.
He removes the title. He removes the title before the name of Jesus, and he's bowing down. And when I get up, it's like the crown of Ochun. He's the keeper of the. I get up at the end, and I'm reading from Joel about people shall repent and the curse shall be blow the shofar. Then I sound the shofar. I sound the shofar 7 times, and we're talking about the curse being broken. He goes down on his knees, which he's never supposed to do that. He bows down. He takes off his thing. At the end of the meeting, I probably broke every protocol that you're supposed to broke. I called up the leaders. I said, "Come on stage." There's like kings and tribal chiefs. I said, "Come on up, guys." I said, "I want to give the blessing. I want to give the Aaronic blessing. I want to give the blessing." And I looked to the right, and the Oni of Ife is there next to me, and I lift up my hand, and he lifts up his hand to join in the blessing. And as we do it, the next day, all over Nigeria, the headlines have a picture of him, and it says Oni drops his title. He kneels down in submission to the One Almighty. It says the Oni. It says bless the Lord who has done great and mighty things. This is not the title. Has a picture of him kneeling down to God, and has a picture of both of us, me and him, doing the Aaronic blessing.
Praise God.
But that wasn't. But what happened was, at the end, it wasn't the end. I was led to go back a month later to Nigeria. It was part of this. I come back, and I go to. I say I got to see him again. I got to see how he's doing. So I go to the palace of the Oni of Ife. I go to the palace, and I see posters, and it has a picture of him from that newspaper, and has the word revival in Nigeria. And I go to him. I said, what's this about? How did this get up there? He says, my wife put it up. I said, oh really? He says, yeah, my wife is all for this. So there's revival. But then I ministered after that. It was almost like the ground had been cleared, and I ministered in Nigeria. We saw like 2 million people pray to dedicate their lives to Jesus at this gathering by God's grace. God's grace. Praise God. So we go to the temple. We go to the high priestess. We go to the temple of Ochun, and we're walking around and we're praying, Lord, deliver these people, release these people. And we see this woman in a robe, and she's following us around. It's the high priestess of Ochun. And so finally, we're about to leave, but she wouldn't come near. Finally, and somebody says, I just gave a Bible, and she said yes to it. She accepted the Bible. I said, okay, I got to talk to her. So we talked to her. We have translators. She has her attendants there, and so I'm sharing to her about Jesus. At the end, I said, "Do you want to receive him?" She says, "Yes, I do." She says, "Yes, I do." And so I lead her in a prayer, and I make this. She's been dedicated since she was a kid. I make the prayer real long. I say, "Lord, I renounce this. I renounce this. I renounce this." At the end, she looks up, and she's literally glowing. And her attendants prayed as well. And I said, "You know what?" I said, "Now you don't have to do this anymore. You don't have to do this. Now you're a child of God." I said, "You got a Bible now. You can God's going to speak to you." I just open it up. It opens up to the people who walk in darkness have seen a great light.
Oh. Praise God.
And when we do the next one, we're going to take this into these principalities that are affecting every one of our lives. We're going to get to right there. But let me just tell you as encouragement. But what the Bible says, when Moses got through the Red Sea, when he passed through the Red Sea, he said, "Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai." That song, he said, "Who is like you among the gods?" And we're going to see as we go on, next time, about how this has affected America, what it's doing right now in America, how it has affected all of our lives.
Right.
And we'll do that on our next show.
Yep.
And I want you to order the set of the End Time Mysteries and Wonders that you're bringing this month to us.
Yes.
And I want everybody to study the End Times Mysteries and Wonders. Is for get to $55. And when you read the scripture, the people that live in dark. But I want you to come and dedicate Prayer Mountain
Chapel
in honor
Chapel to us here on the mountain, and it's a rugged mountain, and even to drive up there, you really right at this time need a 4-wheel drive, but we're going to eventually pave it because God's going to give me the funds to pave the mountain road, and we're building a network of the prophets.
Yes.
And it's
called PTL Network.
God spoke to me in the prison that when I got out of prison, I was to build a network that would have the prophets on it. And this chapel, I want to open it up the first of this year. My birthday is coming up. What we did yesterday, and I stirred up everybody here at the ministry.
I didn't do nothing to him. What are you talking about?
And this is something that is so special.
It really is.
But I'm asking people today if you will have, maybe you already have one. This is brand new, so not too many have them. My friends are buying these. One bought 20 of them.
Right.
Preachers on TV. Can you name any of them?
Rich Reiner, he came
How
on
many
and
did he
he
want?
got
How many did he buy?
10.
10 of
Yeah,
these
for Christmas
generally.
gift for his kids and
it's amazing. And this, you just put it up in your closet or anywhere in your house, or put it in your trunk. Get an extra one, and this makes the power. This is the panel, the solar panel. And so, for a gift of $300, you receive this generator
called the Light.
This is a set of beautiful crosses of all different colors, but this is what we call a baker's dozens of cross. We love the cross.
Yeah.
And these little cross. This is for a gift of $25.
That's correct.
You get all 13 of these back for Christmas.
Yes.
And Christmas Eve.
Yes.
So we gotta So we're starting out with the 77s of Daniel.
Yeah, this is the foundation of so much of biblical prophecy. I mean, Revelation comes, the tribulation period comes from this. It's so important to understand that. And it also links up with what is happening now, because here we're talking about a 70-year period. We're talking about Israel right now. We're in the 70th anniversary from the rebirth of Israel, prophetic. We're in the 70th year. And what this 77s of Daniel is linked to a proclamation that goes forth by a world leader concerning Jerusalem, which just has happened in our midst. So that is the context of the 77s of Daniel. So we're in a very prophetic period.
Wow.
So this is so, amazing. In fact, there was an Orthodox Jewish rabbi from Europe. When he saw the 77s of Daniel talking about when Messiah has to come, he became a believer in Jesus. And he came to America, started an organization called American Board of Mission to the Jews, which then gave birth to an organization called Jews for Jesus.
Oh my
And also
goodness.
Chosen People Ministry, which is the new name of it. All that came from a rabbi, an Orthodox rabbi, who saw this and said, I can't argue with this. So that's how powerful this is. And it's also so amazing how it's a mathematical countdown to the coming of Messiah, how exact God is. We're seeing how God is in every detail and how exact. That's what this is. So the context, to set it up, Jerusalem has been destroyed. And now Daniel is in exile. And Daniel is praying. Solomon said, Lord, when he built the temple, he said, if they sin and then they turn back to you, you judge them, they turn back and they pray towards this place, have mercy and restore them. Daniel is doing exactly what Solomon said. And that's the same passage where God answered Solomon and said, I'll tell you my answer. If my people who are called by my name, that comes from here. From that, which now Daniel is doing it. So it tells you how powerful this is to be praying and interceding for a land. Because that's exactly, if you read Daniel 9, it starts off, all he's doing is praying and interceding. We have sinned, have mercy on us, Lord, have mercy. He's doing if my people. That's the whole first part of Daniel 9. That's how powerful that is. And God answers him by sending an angel to him. The angel is named Gabriel, or we know him as Gabriel, and he says, this is what he says. He says, Daniel, this is verse 24. 77s are decreed for your people and your holy city to finish the transgression, to put an end of sin, to atone for iniquity or evil, to bring in everlasting righteousness, a seal of vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. 77s to all that. Now this is major because he's saying to end sin, to atone for all the redemption and the sealing up of prophecy is all in these 77s. Now a lot of times there are rabbis or anti-missionaries who will say that's not about Messiah, this is about some other guy, because in the Bible sometimes the word Messiah or the word anointed is used for other people. But you can't make that argument, because if it says an anointed king or an anointed priest, that's one thing, or I've anointed Cyrus. It says, but here it simply says Mashiach. It's in the Bible, Messiah. When Mashiach comes, there's no qualifying. This is Messiah. It says, and then by the way, in the English, it doesn't say an anointed prince. It says Messiah, the prince or the ruler. So it says Mashiach. It's actually saying there, and also it's talking about the ending of sin. That's not any guy. That has to be the Messiah. So this is telling you exactly when Messiah has to come. In the ancient versions of the Bible, the Septuagint, which is before the New Testament, when they translated into Greek, the Jewish people, what it says in Greek, it says 77s until Christ comes, is what it says in the Septuagint, until the Christ comes. So what does this mean here? It says it is giving a cutoff date for Messiah to come. It says 77s will come, and then it says the sanctuary and the city will be destroyed. Well, what's the city? It has to be Jerusalem. This is for your city. What's the sanctuary? Has to be the temple. And so it says until that, so Messiah will come, and then the city, Jerusalem, will be destroyed, and the temple will be destroyed. Now we know when that happened. That happened in the year 70 AD. So what does that tell you right away? Even if someone wants to argue about anything else, it tells you, first of all, that no matter what you think, or no matter what the rabbis think, Messiah of Israel had to have come before the year 70 AD. And there have been a lot of people who come after that in Jewish history, said, I'm the Messiah, and they followed him. But nobody can be the Messiah except the one who came before 70 AD. And do we have any candidates for that? There's no candidate except Yeshua, Jesus of Nazareth. There's nobody. There's not even a runner-up. So there's only one. So he came at the exact time. Now he says 77. So what are the 77s? Well, here's where the mystery of the Shemitah has to do with this. This has to do with the Shemitah. It says at the beginning, Daniel says, I was pondering the words of the prophet Jeremiah, when God told him that they will be in exile for 70 years. Why were they in exile? Well, we're talking about the 70 years. We're going to get this. About 70 years have to do with where we are right now.
Wow.
Why were they there for 70 years? The Bible says it. It says it from Moses. He says, if you go against God, if you sin, if you rebel, God will remove you from the land, and God will have the land rest for all the Shemitahs, all the Sabbath years that you did not let it rest. Okay, so now the land is going to rest for all the Sabbaths that you didn't observe. They didn't observe the Sabbath. They also sinned against God. So how many Sabbaths did the land rest for? I mean, did the land not have? 70. They sinned 70 Sabbath years. They didn't observe it. Okay? So you got 70 years where the land is now having Sabbath, and now the people are in exile. Okay? So the 70 years are 70 Shemitahs. You understand? The 70 Sabbath years.
Yeah.
So it actually, and hang in with me if you're not a math person, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. That means that for how many years does it take to break 70 Sabbath years? I mean, 490 years is how long it takes to have 70 Sabbath years, every seventh year. So you have 490 years. They didn't do the 70 Sabbath years, and so you got 70 Sabbath years. So now Daniel is being told, now we're going to take those 70 years and we're going to make them 490 again. It's going to be 70 Sabbath years. So therefore, now he's talking about a 490-year period. Are you with me with this?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so you have 490 years. They broke the Sabbath. It becomes judgment of the 70 Sabbath years within that period. Now we're going to reverse that. We're going to take the 70 Sabbath years, and we're going to make them 490 for redemption until Messiah comes.
Oh.
First it was to judgment. Now we're reversing it, and it's going to come to redemption. Okay?
Amazing.
So that's what we know. It's got to be Sabbath. It can't be 77s of days, because if you could never rebuild Jerusalem and do all this in that, it's got to be 70 Sabbaths of years. So we got a 490-year period. Okay, and what's going to happen in that? What's going to happen? It says until Mashiach, and again, there's no doubt this is Messiah. Until Messiah comes, so Messiah is going to come within this 490-year period. You are to know, verse 25, and discern that from the issuing of a decree to restore and rebuild Jerusalem until Mashiach, Messiah, the ruler, there will be 7 sevens and 62 sevens. It will be built again with plaza, with moat, even in times of distress. So here, when you add that up, it says 7 sevens and 62 sevens. What does that come out to? 69 sevens. So it's coming up to almost 70 sevens, but it's missing 1 week. Okay, so that's we stop right there. Now, what's going to happen? Then it says in Hebrew, Yikarat Mashiach, which says then Messiah will be cut off. What does that mean? That expression in Hebrew means when somebody is cut off from their people, and when it says when they've sinned, they're going to be cut off. Messiah is going to be cut off from the Jewish people, his own people. He's going to be cut off, and which is exactly what happened to Jesus, Messiah. But also it can mean killed. Messiah will be killed. He'll be cut off and killed. He's been cut off from his people for virtually 2,000 years. So that happens. So Messiah comes. He's got to come before the temple's destroyed, and he's got to be cut off and killed. And if you see the matching thing, Isaiah 53 is where you get all the detail about Messiah being cut off. So it says he was cut off out of the land of the living for the sin of my people. And so you see the whole death of Messiah. Now, something that people miss, and it's really cool that's in there. When does the angel appear to Daniel to tell him? Daniel says he came at the time of the evening sacrifice, or the evening offering. Now, here's the weird thing. The temple's destroyed. There's no sacrifice. So why date it to the sacrifice? The evening sacrifice is the last sacrifice of the day. It's the final sacrifice. It closes everything. So why did Gabriel come at that exact time? And Daniel records it. Because this whole prophecy is going to be about the final sacrifice, which is Messiah. So he gives the timing of the daily final sacrifice. So
Alright, if you guys want to continue listening to what I'm listening to, you're going to have to watch it on YouTube under mr-stillwinning, the channel. I'm going to the next lobby.
So now another connection. We know about the Magi. The Magi come and they find Messiah.
You
Where are the
alright?
Magi from? Where do they come from? They come from
Hit your
Persia.
knee?
They are Iranians. They loved Israel back then. So they are Persian. And so how did the Magi know to come at that time? They said, well, they who got the exact countdown to the timing of when he's going to come, got the vision, got the timing when he was in Persia, Babylon, and undoubtedly he would have recorded it. He did. Undoubtedly the people around him would have known it, which would have also included the Magi. And so they would have the countdown to know about, well, he's got to come around this time. So amazing link to this whole thing. Now in going, when does this countdown begin? In order to know when he's coming, you got to know when it starts. Well, it says when the proclamation, and we are relating to it in 2017, a proclamation by a world leader concerning Jerusalem and the rebuilding of Jerusalem. So when was it? Well, there's one done by Cyrus, and then there's another one, but it says when it'll be rebuilt with wall and all these things. Well, the fullest proclamation that has the rebuilding of not just the beginning of the temple, but the wall and all that, was done by a Persian king named Artaxerxes. And when you take the date of when he made that proclamation, here's what's going to happen. It's going to come out, it's 457 BC. So if we start the clock, start the timer right there, put in the 77s of Daniel, it's going to lead you to about the year 27 AD. Okay, now why is that important? Because if you put all the calculations together, and most everything points to this, the New Testament and other things, Messiah would have first come to Jerusalem in 27 AD.
Oh,
the exact countdown. The word for, when it says 77s, the word is Sheva. Sheva is 7, Sheva. But in Hebrew, it also means something else. It also means oath, or the promise, or the swearing of God. So you could take it as the 70 also, it's about the oath of God. It's about 77s until God fulfills all his promises, all his oaths. And there's one time where God says, I am giving you my oath, I'm swearing by myself, is when Abraham offers up Isaac. And it's in the place, where? In Jerusalem. And God says, and then it says, it shall be done in that place. It shall be seen in that place. God will provide the lamb in that place. So that's telling you the place, and it has the word of the oath. And now this is using the same word to tell you the timing of when it's all going to happen. So God.
Yo, if you guys want to listen to what I'm listening to, you're going to have to catch it on YouTube. I'm live with the GTA thing. You can go and check it out at mr-stillwinning. It's a channel. I'm going to another lobby, so you ain't going to be able to hear it.
I mentioned that Gabriel came at the time of the evening sacrifice. What time was that? Well, we know when it was. The final sacrifice was offered up at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. Well, interesting, because when was Messiah offered up? When did he die? 3 o'clock, the exact time of the final sacrifice.
Wow.
And he is the final sacrifice.
Yes, he is.
And so that's linked to it's almost hidden in the prophecy. It's saying Messiah's going to be cut off, but it's actually giving you the time of day when he's going to be cut off. I mean the timing is amazing. But now there is it said it would be 16. If you add it up, it's 69 sevens. So that leaves one missing 7. One missing 7 is the 7 that comes at the end. It's like the stopwatch stops, and now it's waiting until the end of the age for the last 7. What is the last 7? The last 7 is the book of Revelation. The last.
Dude, if you guys want to make some money on GTA, you gotta go look up the channel. It's mr-stillwinning. 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 We don't really do glitches, but my boy Curry will give you a couple mil. It has a yellow icon. Well, sub to the channel, watch some of the videos, and my boy Curry will look out for you if you comment your name in this live stream, any live stream really, but this one that's live right now, My boy Curry will give you a couple mil if you comment your game tag. I'll send them to you. Congrats, bud. Well, you better sub. Bro, comment your tag in this live stream and my boy Curry will give you a couple million. Yes. The live stream is called Witchcraft on GTA right now. Type in, go to YouTube and type in the channel or type in the live stream. That's how you're gonna do it. After you get them couple mils though, dude, you gotta make sure that you invest it, because you'll just spend it and then you ain't gonna have any money. So what you need to do is take a little bit of that money and invest it into stuff that's gonna have you keeping your money, like a bunker, a nightclub, or a facility, or a hangar, or whatever, an MC, a security, or a secure serve office, whatever. You get whatever, you get that going, and then you spend the rest of the money, but then you got passive income coming in every time you log in. Yeah, type in your PSN. That's what you need. The game tag. Type in the game tag into the comments, and I'll have Curry send you a friend request. Yes, it is. What's up, buddy? YouTube channel is identical to my game tag, so press down on the directional, look for mr-stillwinning on your screen, and that's the name right there. Yeah. Right. Bro, whoever just said that, you're never going to get no money talking like that, first of all. Second of all, Curry is going to give whoever comments their game tag a couple mil by doing the Bogdan glitch. It takes 2 seconds, bro. Alright, well, you're doing glitches. So what? So what? So you want to come in here and run your mouth because you're doing glitches like you're hard? You're not hard, bro. Cut it out. Cut it out, bro. Bro, nobody's thirsty for nothing. I got billions listening to the radio show. Why don't you go check that out? Uncensored Media Radio, right on the profile, buddy. Enjoy. Nobody's thirsty for nothing. I'm helping these little kids out. Fiend out. I'll be right back. What's up? Alright, I'm back. Now, like I said, you go to the live feed of YouTube right now of me playing it and comment your tag. Curry will send you a friend request and he'll give you a couple mil. You need to invest that couple mil, though. All you gotta do is comment your tag on my YouTube stream right now. Go to YouTube and type in Mr. Still Winning. Still winning. Yes, sir. I could drop you one gun, maybe. Alright, well, come outside. I'll give you a gun if you need one. Go to the live feed of right now. There's a video that says live now. Click on that and then comment your tag in the comment, the live stream comment thing. Alright, now Curry's going to be in touch. When he gets on, the first thing I'm going to do is give him that list. So when he gets on, he's going to go from whoever commented first all the way down to the last person. So don't be surprised if it takes him a day to get a hold of you, and don't be surprised if when he gets a hold of you, he tells you had a bunch of people he had to take care of, and that's why it took so long. So don't be surprised if that's the case. What? I said don't expect him to get at you immediately. He's not always online, and when he does get online, I give him the list, and he goes from the top. So whoever commented first is going to get taken care of quicker. That's what I'm trying to tell you right now. Yeah, they hide it, but it's going to be hard to find, kind of. Type in GTA space still winning. Yo, why don't you go watch all the other live streams? I got 4 hours to 6 hour streams for like the last 12 months. Why don't you go watch all of them, bud? Where everybody gets hooked up. Bro, what do you mean put you on the list? I could write your name down. I mean, what do you want me to do? I could help you by having the dude send you a friend request. I mean, what do you want me to do, bro, other than that? You can't get on YouTube right now? Alright, well, I'll send you a link then. Hold on. It's Mr. Middle Dash Still Winning. There's no spaces in it. There's no capitals in it. You type that in with the middle dash, not the lower dash. You know the straight little dash on the bottom? Not that. The middle one. It's called the middle score. You do that in between Mr. and Still Winning. You should be able to find the channel. You might have to scroll down a little bit. Now all you guys got to do is wait for the friend request from Curry. His name is Curry the Concuro, and he's going to be sending you guys a friend request one by one as he gets to you guys. Yeah, you can give some money now. I'm about to do a run. If you guys want to do a run real quick, join the bunker. Bro, you ain't got a phone? Just go to your phone and type, or go to YouTube and type in Mr. Stillwinning. You could even hit the voice thing where you talk into your phone and you could just say Mr. Stillwinning YouTube channel and that shit'll pop right up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You gotta comment your tag though, not just any comment. Comment your tag so that we know how to get a hold of you. And we're getting quite the list here, so it might take him a little bit, guys. It takes 10 minutes to get the first mill, and then after that, it's like 6 minutes, I think. But he'll do it 2 or 3 times for each person. It's going to take him at least an hour to get all you guys done. Just to let you guys know. I guess I could write yours down, kid, if you really can't get to YouTube. What is it? Well, is it because you don't have a channel? You gotta have a channel in order to do it. That's weird. Here, what's your name in the game? Alright, crazy man, I got you. Just they just put it in the comments, so it's there. I was just gonna take a screenshot of your name and send that to him, but you're good, you're in it. Alright, now don't be expecting this friend request to show up immediately, guys, when you do this, because I gotta get a hold of him, I gotta give him the list, and he's gotta be online. I don't even know if he's online right now, but hold on, let me see if he's online. He might be online, hold on. Alright, he's not online right now, and it said that he was online yesterday. So he should be on soon. He comes on at night, and he'll probably be on tonight around like 9, 10 o'clock because he sleeps during the day. But when he does get on, I'll give him the list, and you guys will be all set. He'll probably take care of you guys tonight if he does get on. If he doesn't get on tonight, then it'll definitely be tomorrow during the night when he sends you the friend request. So whoever's gonna do this run with me, I'm about to set it up right now. Join the beer gang, and we're out. We're gonna do this bunker run real quick. 30, 50, I don't know, maybe 100 grand. I don't know. I'm not exactly positive because I'm usually the one running it, and whoever I have under me doesn't get the same amount of money. So I gotta look it up real quick. Hold on. You go to your invites. I sent it to everybody. I'm gonna send it again right now. Yeah. I'm sending it again, guys. Join the beer gang, the invite to the MC. Yep. You gotta go to your invites and join it. It's an MC invite. Your invites are in your phone. Well, you might be in a CEO or you might be in an MC, so you need to go to your interaction menu by holding the interaction button and then going to Motorcycle Club or CEO and then ending it. You gotta disband it in order to get the invite. That's only if you're not getting the invite. If you're not getting the invite right now when I'm sending it out, you must be in a CEO or an MC. There's GBN that's in a motorcycle club. There's Cody that's in a motorcycle club. Lucky Kim is in a motorcycle club. Other than that, everybody else is free. You gotta go to your phone in the invites and then click on the invite that says invite to MC. What's up? Yeah. No. Alright, so if you got... Who's this dude that can't get in the MC still? Yeah, I'm trying to get everybody in, but there's this dude saying he can't get into it. It's called Beer Gang. Bro, you gotta go to your phone in the invites list and join the MC. It's very simple, very easy. It's Beer Gang. Oh, in order to leave your last one, you gotta hold the interaction button and then go to Motorcycle Club President and then click X on that and then go down to Disband MC. Alright, well, this is what you do. Listen, everybody stop talking for a minute. This is what you do, buddy. Join a heist or join any type of mission that's in your phone and then back out of it once it starts to load, and then you'll be out of your MC. Yep. Yeah, I heard you. I'm sending the bunker invite out and the MC invite. Well, we got to start this because everybody's been waiting this whole time. Alright, I sent the MC out 1,000,000,000 times. I sent the bunker invite out 1,000,000,000 times. We're starting this up, man. If you can't figure it out, you can't be in it. I'm sending the bunker invite out and the MC invite out. I've been sending it back to back. If anybody's watching the stream, I've been sending it back to back since you guys have been asking me to join it. So if you guys aren't getting it, I don't know how to stop it. Yeah, maybe you can get in on the next one, man. You can roll with this if you want. Nah, we all gotta get in these trucks. We're making a delivery. Let's go. Yo, don't go that way. Turn around, come back. Alright, now you guys gotta stay in a convoy to stay off the radar, and bet there's gonna be people trying to come after us. I'll kill him. Don't worry about killing him. Just drive. Just drive. Let's go. I got a bike, man. Go. Alright, there's a dude on a bike behind you. I'm gonna swap the lobby, obviously. I'll be right back, guys.